the Turtle Tracks podcast. This is your host, Brian Van Hooker, and I'm here with my guest, Vincenzo Federici, an artist on IDW's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series. Vincenzo, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. It's amazing to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you. I mean, I'm such a fan of your art, and we met at New York Comic Con, so I wanted to get you on this, and I'm glad it's worked out now. So thank you.
Yes, it was incredible because this New York Comic Con was full of fans, full of love for the turtles because the movie. And then
Oh
when I
yeah.
met you, I was really excited for your invitation to be a part of this podcast. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Please. Now you're based in Italy, correct?
Yes,
Now, how did? So I'm curious. Now, you grew up in Italy as well?
yes,
Now, was Turtles a big part of like in the 90s? Was Turtles a big deal like it was in America, or not as much?
yes. Ninja Turtles here in the 90s were something very, very important. Everyone knows the Ninja Turtles here. Also, my father, that is 73, he knows very well the Ninja Turtles because it was phenomenal here in Italy. When I was a kid, I decided to be a comic artist because Ninja Turtles. Because
Really?
yes, absolutely. Because the 80s cartoons came here in at the early 90s. I was 5, 7, I don't remember, and it was very important here. A lot of action figures arrived in the shops, and I had a lot of them. I have here a jumbo Donatello turtle, the only survivor of my childhood, and it was a very important phenomenon. And here in Italy, we had a magazine called Giornalino that had some original turtle stories created here in Italy, not something from America and then published here. No, they were created here in Italy. Are totally Italian stories because the turtles were a huge had a huge impact here in Italy for my generation. Everyone knows the turtles. You can ask to everyone. Everyone loved the turtles. The guys from my generation, of course.
It's so funny. Like I've interviewed, so now you, but also I interviewed the guy who did Tortugas Ninja in Mexico. And
Yes,
that comic book also, it wasn't just a copy with dubbed dubbed in another language. It was written, drawn, all new stories. So all these, I think it's so interesting. Like I grew up in Turtle Mania. I was born in '85, and I think I know everything about it. But there are these huge chunks of turtles that existed during the height of Turtle Mania that nobody knows anything about, which I think is so interesting.
yes. Here it was something incredible. Uh, Currently, we had a lot of artists that worked on this Italian turtle series. They are old now. They are 70,
Sure.
65, and I met them some months ago at a show, and it was huge because they told me, "Oh wow, you are the turtle artist," but for me, they were the turtle artists, and so it's something strange. It's something very funny to be a part of this because it was my childhood and the childhood of all my friends. When we was a kid, me and another guy, my best friend, we usually dress like turtles
Sure.
in Halloween or in Carnival. I have a lot of photos of me with my Donatello costume because the best turtle is Donatello. This is
I agree. Yes, I
yeah,
agree.
okay, fine,
Yeah.
great, and it was very interesting because here in Italy we do often original stories from American characters. On this magazine, we had the Ninja Turtles, some Italian stories of Spider-Man,
Okay.
uh, Italian stories of Mickey Mouse. They were Italian born. Of course, the approach was different. The Italian turtles were the same of the TV show, but the tone of the stories were a bit different.
Oh, so.
They were very similar to the Archie
Oh,
turtles,
sure. Yeah.
but yes, but the Archie turtles had a very articulated lore because they went to the space. They had the wrestling suite, if you remember. Here
Yes.
in Italy, every issue was a standalone story,
Okay.
short stories and standalone. Beginning and end in the same issue.
Okay.
There was a continuity.
But the tone was still more serious than the cartoon.
Yes,
But they
yes,
looked like the cartoon, correct?
yes, yes.
Okay.
They were like the cartoon also in the design, in the colors. The palette was the same of the 18th cartoon, but the stories were a bit different because we have a different style of storytelling of telling a story. Okay, in American comics, everything is huge. Here we are a bit more quiet.
Interesting.
Uh, I prefer the American style, of course, because the turtles need to be huge, to be big, to go crazy. But when I was a kid here in Italy, it was very difficult, maybe impossible, to find American comics of the Turtles. We
Okay.
had a lot of superheroes, Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, but not the Turtles.
Hmm.
So maybe I think, this is my opinion, that the publishers need to create something original here in Italy for the Turtles to give something to the audience
Hmm.
because the big part of my generation was a turtle fan, but we aren't able to find comics about the turtles. So the Italian publisher tried to give us something to read
Yeah.
because we had toys, we had the cartoon, we had the movies,
Oh,
the
okay.
two
Sure.
nights movies, yeah, the best movies ever in the world. And but we hadn't comics. So I think this comics was born by this necessity.
Sure. I mean, the turtles, I mean, are a very American property, right? But
Yes,
there's two other very distinct cultures that influence it, and there's Japanese culture in there a little bit too. And there's some Italian culture. I mean, there's Italian names and they all eat pizza. Was there anything like, I don't know, was there a sense of like familiarity with the turtles because of those
yes.
elements or not really?
I don't know. I guess the familiarity with the turtles was born because in the 90s here in Italy we had a lot of American cartoons.
Sure.
We had the Masters of Universe. Here in Italy it was simply He-Man, not Masters. We had a lot of the Transformers, the G.I. Joe,
Sure.
uh, Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, and Filmation Ghostbusters. The Turtles was insert in this movement. So we had a big feeling with that American cartoons.
Sure.
I was born in the '86.
Okay.
The guys from my generation are in the middle between the Japanese culture and the American culture. The guys from the 90s, for example, 93, 95, are more oriented on the Japanese culture here in Italy.
Interesting.
But the guys with my age, they are in the middle. I'm a huge fan of mangas, of Japanese anime, but in the same time, I am a huge fan of the American cartoons, on the American comics books. So the turtles were inserted in this atmosphere, and we was fan of turtles, the Power Rangers, the American Power Rangers.
Sure.
Um, Ghostbusters. They were for us something very important because every afternoon we had 2 hours in the on the TV with this kind of cartoons, and so we grew up with these characters.
So you grew up with the cartoon, the Italian comics, and the movies, you said. Was there any one thing that kind of pulled you to Turtles the most that was your favorite thing? Or was it all? Just all?
Always, always the comics
Yeah,
because I feel that I am. Um, Maybe it could be a bit rude, but I want to explain. I'm a pure comic artist because I love too much the comics. For me, when I was 7, I decided to be a comic artist, and I never thought about another life, another job, just to be a comic artist. And if I have to choose between cartoons, movies, video games, or comics books, I always choose the comics books. If
sure.
I have to choose, my choice will be always on comic books because mm, they are a part of me, a part of
Yeah.
my culture, a part of my being. So I guess the comics books um, made my personality because when I was a kid, my father was a comic reader, but
Oh, what did he do? I didn't know
he
that.
sorry.
What did he do? I didn't know that.
Uh, I don't know. He was a reader of South American comics.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Jordi Bernet, Torpedo.
Never.
These are South American comics from Argentina.
Okay.
Here in Italy, we had a magazine that he was published weekly that collect all of these comics translated in Italy. And when I was a kid, my father often leave these comics around the house, and I was very curious about them. So I
Sure.
asked him, "Can you buy some comic also for me to be mine?" And he started to bought me X-Men, an issue of Age of Apocalypse,
Oh,
and
cool.
yes, and then I started to collect my own comic books, and but I started to read the Turtle comics on the magazine Giornalino when I was 10 because I discovered them to my cousin house. This younger cousin, he had this magazine. I told, "Hey man, what is this?" He told me, "This is mine. You can touch it." Oh no, I need to touch it. I need to read it. And then I discovered the Italian turtles, and I read them, and I watched the TV show.
Sure.
Then here arrived the movies, the first one, and I asked to my father to bring me to the theater
Sure.
to see it. And he told me, "No, I can watch this kind of movie, please." So I had to wait to add the VHS
Sure.
of the movie, and I watched it. I don't know. I think 1,000 times because
Yeah.
it was incredible. It was incredible because it was very similar to the Eastman and Laird books,
Yes.
and I had never seen something like this when I was a kid.
Yeah.
For me, the turtles were just the one from the TV show and the one from the Giornalino. These dark turtles, this angry Raphael, for me, it was totally new.
Yeah.
And it was incredible for me because I felt that the turtles need to be like this, more dark, more urban, and it was love, just love.
The movie, that first movie is my one favorite turtle anything ever, more than any comic.
Yes,
It's to me, it's the best, the right amount of drama, the right amount of comedy. I think it's the best of anything ever, Turtles.
yes, agree, agree.
Did you also get the second and third one over there?
Yes, I had here in my house a collector edition of the three first movies.
Oh, cool.
Uh, I enjoyed the second one because the Super Shredder and the two new mutants, Tokka and Razar.
Sure.
Uh, the third one was very funny because the time travel, because the feeling was very similar to the TV show. But now that I am an old grumpy man, I feel that the first one is the best one.
First was
Uh,
definitely.
yes, it's the best one
And it's funny, I
because
love Super Shredder too, and I didn't realize it until I'm an adult. I hope I'm not ruining it. Like, he never fights anybody, Super Shredder.
yes.
He doesn't the whole movie. I interviewed I'm forgetting his name at the moment. Oh goodness. Anyway, I interviewed Shredder from that movie, and
Hmm.
all he was talking about was like, I don't do anything the whole movie. I just stand around, and then they turn
Uh-huh.
him into Super Shredder, and Super Shredder doesn't do anything. He kills himself. Nothing happens to Shredder.
Yes,
Very
yes,
funny.
that's it. Yeah, the Shredder in the first movie, he was very strong. He was a real villain
Yeah.
because he was strong. He was bad, and
Yes.
the final fight with Splinter was very cruel
Yes.
for a child, of course. And I love it that in the IDW series, they did the same in the final fight with Splinter and
Yes.
Shredder.
Yeah.
When Splinter killed Shredder, it was the same feeling on a rooftop,
Yeah.
a lot of violence, the final confrontation between the two ancient enemies. It was great. And when I discovered the DDW series, it was because I saw the art of Matteo Santoloco on internet.
So talented.
Uh, I discovered his characters, the character design for the turtles, and he did all the turtles different each other.
Yep.
Michelangelo is the smallest one, the younger one. Uh, Raffaello is huge. He is muscular, but he's short. Donatello is nerdy. Is tall. It was something that very inspired me because I thought, yes, this is the right vision
Yeah.
of the turtles, and I tried to use this vision in my art on Armageddon game and the ongoing series. Also because Mateus he used to do different shapes of the masks.
Yeah.
Raffaello had a ripped one. Donatello had a very clean one because he's a genius, so he needs to be clean. And I tried to stole something to Mateus and make this approach my approach. I don't know if if the result is good, but
No, the
I
result's
really
fantastic. That's crazy.
thank you. But I really tried to be good as Matteus was, because for me, he is the real master of this turtle generation, the
Hmm.
IDW turtle generation, in terms, in artistic terms. Then we had Sophie Campbell, that tried to create something new for the turtles,
Totally.
something with a lot of feelings, with a lot of brotherhood between the turtles, a lot of friendship between the mutants. In my opinion, Sophie created something totally new in
Totally agree.
the turtles lore. And also her artistic grow up was amazing because he started very manga style. The turtles were a bit chibi,
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, they were cute.
But yes, but going forward in the series, they tried to ink in more dirty way. The characters that became very muscular, but always very roundy,
Yeah.
and it was the right mashup. So I tried it. I tried to stole also these from the Sophie. Yeah, just because of being a turtle, a huge turtle fan, it was a big responsibility for me because I had a specific idea of which kind of turtles I wanted to do.
Hmm.
But the confrontation with these enormous artists was very heavy on me because before me there were a lot of incredible artists on the turtles.
Yeah. Got a lot of
Um,
great people in that book. Yes.
yes, and now after me there are greatest artists such as Rafael Albuquerque, Joel Jones for the new series, and I really felt this confrontation. I wanted to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Uh, Someone that the other artists can say, "Wow, this guy is very good," as I think they are very good.
Yeah.
This
You know,
is
you kind of answered this a little bit already, but that was a question I wanted to ask you was, you grew up with the Turtles, and I'm guessing over time you saw more artists, Archie, Mirage, like you got into those comics over time, correct?
yes.
And then like so you see IDW's had all these amazing artists. How did you find your Turtles? Like so I know you said a little bit of Mateus, a little bit of Sophie. Was there anything else
Mm.
that influenced it that make it like I know want my turtles to look like this? Was there anything else that influenced that?
Mm.
Because you have a very distinct take, separate from both of those people, separate from Sophie, separate from Mateus. You're doing your own thing. So how did you find your own thing?
That's a good question. Um, I think that it was something natural because I always drawn turtles like sketch on my sketchbook just for me. I did a lot of turtle sketch for kids, for my nephews.
Oh, cool.
And when I come back on that draws and I see them, I see an evolution in my approach at the turtles. At the beginning, I used to do them more realistic,
Mm, okay.
something in the shapes. When I started on the series, my approach was naturally different. I tried to give them a more cartoon approach. I make them their head more roundy. At
Mm,
the beginning, I used to do their head more like the movie head,
okay.
a bit more like a Hank. Okay, But now I try to give them a total round head,
Sure.
because it is funny to me. It is simply fun,
Yeah,
and um, I think that this evolution was natural because maybe also the deadlines forced me to find a more speed way
that's
to
interesting.
draw. Yes, I need to be faster and faster because Armageddon game had very tight schedule.
Sure,
Uh, Yes, because the first and the last issues were 30 pages. So they were bigger than usual. And I needed to find a way to be faster. So
sure.
I think that my approach changed time to time because of it.
Sure.
I tried to find a way that permit me to draw the turtles in a faster way, and the result is very satisfying to me because my turtles are classic turtles, but also personal turtles.
Yeah,
I have a lot of friends that are huge fan of Ninja Turtles, and I often give them some copies of my books or some sketch, and they often told me your turtles are very personal, and it means a lot to me because in my artistic career I try to be very personal because the artists that I follow the most, they are very personal,
yeah,
such as Matthews, such as James Harren or Alan Davis. They are really recognizable when you see the art. You can say, "Oh, okay, he is
yeah.
James Harren," and I want to be like them. So my approach to the turtles was this: to be the Vincenzo Federici's Turtles.
Very cool. I should have said this up front, which is my fault. To be clear, you did part of the Armageddon game run with that was last year and a little bit the year before. Um, and you are presently on the books doing numbers issues 145 to 150, which is the final
Yes,
run of the series before the reset coming up.
yes.
Um, so I mean, how overwork? So when you had done some work for IDW before that, were you asking to be on Turtles? Did they ask you? How did you end up being part of Armageddon game?
It is very funny because I was in contact with IDW since a long time. The first time I had a chat with Tom Waltz, the writer of Armageddon Game. He contacted me. I showed him my portfolio when back in 2013,
Oh
10
wow.
years ago. Yes, I asked him to be an artist on the Ninja Turtles, but he proposed me to do some Ghostbusters short stories.
Hmm.
I told yes, of course. I mean, but I never heard nothing from here. He totally ghosted me for years. And then back in 22, I sent him a portfolio randomly. I was curious to try, and I sent him a portfolio featuring my latest works for Dynamite. And he immediately replied to me that he had a huge project on the Ninja Turtles and asked me if I was interested. I was, for a moment, I was like, oh, wow, it's happening. And then I, I replied to him and told that I was available, of course. But Nickelodeon wanted to see a sample from me. So I was asked to do a Turtles illustration. I did the illustration in a night because, of course, I'm from Italy. So when in San Diego is morning, here is evening. So I worked on the sample for all night long, and I sent to Tom. The day after, it was a night here in Italy, and my first daughter was born since 20 days, and it was the 4 a.m. here, and I received the email from Tom Waltz that told me, "Hey man, you are on it. You are the TMT artist on Armageddon game."
Oh, that's
It was
awesome.
incredible for me. It was amazing, amazing. I was crazy. I stopped to sleep. I was waiting for my wife to wake up to tell her, "Hey, listen, I'm the artist on Ninja Turtles. Wow!" And it was incredible. Then I was chosen as artist for Armageddon game, but I started on the pages many months after.
Okay.
I was chosen in February. I started the covers in March, but I started to work on pages in the summer, in June or July. I don't remember. I started in the summer, so I had a lot of time to figure out how I wanted to do this series. Making the first issue, I was, of course, not sure on everything, but making the issues, I, um, I was time to time more sure of my skills on the characters because turtles are difficult to draw because they have the shell, and the shell is very difficult to move
Mm.
in the action movement in the scene, and many turtles characters are animals. Such as the mutant animals. In my series, I draw a lot of times Zodi and Kryza. So it was a bit difficult for me because until this series, I had draw a lot of humans, never animals characters and animals like characters. But then I found a way to work on them in the right way and mm, going forward in the series, they were very satisfied by my art, and I was very happy that they was satisfied by me. Then when I was on the last issue, issue 8 of Armageddon game, they asked me if I wanted to do the regular series. Of course, I said so. Yes,
Yeah.
I said yes. I'm in, and so I started always in the summer. I finished Armageddon game in May, at
Okay.
the end of May, and I started the ongoing series in at the end of August. Yes, at the end of August. And I'm now working on issue 149.
Wow.
And yes, it's sad to be honest, because the ending is beautiful. It's very beautiful, and it's sad to be on the end because it means a lot for
Yeah.
me as a reader, for me as artist, and it means a lot to the readers, to the fans. It's a very important responsibility, but it's a great experience. It's something that will mark a milestone in my career.
I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, that's it. That book's been a hell of a run.
Yes.
We're all very excited about 150. Let me ask you, you've worked with Tom now and Sophie. What were both of them
Hmm.
like to work with? How are they different? What was it like?
The Tom scripts are very action based. They both use a lot of panels in the page, but the Sophie approach is more quiet. She let the climax grow slowly. Tom is more direct in the approach. Tom scripts are very descriptive. There are a lot of description of everything, a lot of reference. Sophie scripts are more less words, but more emotions.
Interesting.
Yeah, I feel that this is the main difference between the American approaches currently. There are a lot of writers that are like Tom, and a lot of writers like Sophie. I feel that the Tom approach is a classical one,
Hmm.
and the Sophie's one is more modern. Is an approach for the new generations, and I feel that they are both great. Um, and but they are both difficult because Armageddon game had a lot of characters.
Yeah,
The regular series has less characters, but a lot of interaction between the characters. Armageddon game had a lot of characters and a lot of different environments. For example, in issue 2, I draw a lot of moments in space with the neutrinos, a lot of moments in New York City, a lot of moments in the spaceships or in the dimension X.
yeah.
There were a lot of fast changes. In Sophie's script, I am always in the same place, more or less.
Sure.
Now Donatello now is tripping around the dimensions and the time, but every issue has an environment. So I start on this environment. I can take confidence with the environment, and then I finish the issue in this environment. It's simple for me in this way.
Hmm.
Uh, but the most difficult thing is that there are a lot of dialogues,
Sure.
and you have to find a way to let the characters act and not be repetitive in the approach.
Interesting.
In the action scene is more, yes,
No, so that's
action
interesting.
scene
How they
action
act.
scene
Yeah.
for me. Sorry,
No, no, no.
tell
I'm
me.
sorry. I'm just saying that's interesting how like you're saying how they act but not be repetitive. Like sad Donatello, happy Donatello. It can't be the same thing over and over again. That's interesting to me. I'm sorry.
Yes, it's this is the most difficult thing because also because the turtles are not humans, so you need to catch the expressions, keeping their shapes, so not human characters, but you need to let the reader understand the feeling
Hmm.
in that moment, the sadness, the happiness, and this is difficult, but this is the funny part because it's the the real uh, how to say um, the real challenge for an artist to catch the emotions, the feelings of a character that is not a human character.
Sure.
And the Tom script is more of fighting based. Um, I'm in the fighting scene because I am a fan of Street Fighter.
Okay.
So for me, the action scene are incredible, and this is the main
Fighter cover
difference.
turtle too.
Sorry.
You did a Street Fighter Turtles cover too, right? You did some,
Yes,
yeah, you did some of those. Those are,
yes.
yeah.
It was a dream job. It
Yeah,
was
I
a
was
dream
gonna say
job
that's pretty
because
cool. That's a hell of a crossover.
yes,
Yeah.
it was incredible because it was casual. I was chatting with the editor, and I told him, "Oh, you know, I'm a huge Turtle fan, but I am also a huge Street Fighter fan." And he told me, "Hey, man, do you want to do some covers for the series?" I didn't know that they was planning the Street Fighter TNT crossover.
Oh,
So I
that's
was
cool.
yeah, it was incredible. I told him, what are you saying? He told me, yes, covers of Street Fighter Ninja Turtles. Wow, yes, 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 I want to do it. I want to do it. And yes, they asked me five connected covers. It was a huge job because I'm crazy and I did the inks in traditional inks. So I have the original art of
Oh,
the covers.
cool.
And then I colored them with the computer.
I gotta
But
see these
the
next to each
original
other.
inks,
I gotta see these.
sorry?
I gotta see these next to each other because I don't know if I've ever seen them. I've seen all the covers. I don't think I've seen them connected. I gotta check that out.
Yes, I posted them on my Instagram profile, I guess.
Oh,
And
connected?
yes, all connected.
Oh,
Yes,
I gotta find that.
yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, you can check it later, and it was very funny because the, the three are the titles that are for me dream jobs: Turtles, Street Fighter, and X-Men. So now I just need to be X-Men artist, and I'm complete. I'm done. Mission completion. Working on the Street Fighter Ninja Turtles covers was incredible because the Street Fighter characters are a lot. Capcom asked to use the Street Fighter 4 characters. But because I started to use different characters from different titles, Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 3, but they told, whoa, 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 stop, man. You
Much.
need to use the Street Fighter 4 characters. Ah, okay, okay, good to know. And
I love that.
and it was funny because I had the opportunity to draw my loved characters of all time. In Turtles, as I told you, my favorite one is Donatello. In Street Fighter, my favorite character is Ken Masters. So I drew the covers. In the first one, there was Ryu, there was Leonardo. In the second one, Chun-Li, Jennica. And many friends of mine asked me, yes, but when Ken and Donatello? They are your favorite. Why you are waiting to draw them? Because I wait the final cover to draw them. And the issue 5, a cover featuring Donatello and Ken Masters. I was waiting for that moment.
That's awesome. Let me ask you something. So drawing turtles, especially with the Armageddon game, you drew a lot of characters.
Yes.
Um, was there certain characters? So like, is there certain characters aside from the four turtles? Were there certain characters that like were really exciting to draw because you had them as a toy or loved them in the cartoon or something?
Yes, one of the most exciting character to draw was Shredder.
Hmm.
Um, and I love it to draw him without the mask.
He looks
I love
cool.
the
I love
yes,
Shredder. He's very cool like that. Yeah.
I love Orokusaki in his modern design with the hair, um, the black hair, the scar. It's very Japanese. It's a bad guy, but I was forced to draw him like a good guy because in Armageddon game he's one of the heroes,
Yeah.
and he was one of the most exciting. An unexpected character that I loved to draw was Karai.
Mm.
I never considered her a character that I would love to draw. But when I had the opportunity to draw her, I was very happy. She's very interesting. Her design is very ninja design.
Hmm.
Her sweets, her haircut. She was a surprise for me. I like it to draw the neutrinos because I remember the neutrinos from the TV show,
Can we
and
just give a shout
I
out to
love
Tom?
them.
I think it's amazing to me, and when I was a kid, even when I was a little kid, the neutrinos were the worst characters, right? And
Yeah.
Tom has made them very cool, which is stunning. Stunning.
Yes, yes, that's incredible. For this reason, I love to draw them because
Yeah,
they were not a bit ridiculous, right? Like in the TV show. They were very cool.
yeah.
They were powerful, and I love it to draw the neutrinos too much. I don't like to draw um, Krisa or Kreis, I don't know, and Zodi, because
Which ones? I'm
I
sorry.
felt
Which ones did you struggle with?
Krisa is the snake, the
Snake.
yellow snake, and Zodi is the scorpion.
Okay.
I don't like it to draw them because I felt that then they was a bit stuck in their design,
Hmm.
not so dynamic in the movements.
Interesting.
Um, I like it a lot to draw Krang, Krang in the metal leg body.
That was cool.
I love it. I love it so much to draw Leatherhead.
I love
Uh,
Krang and Leatherhead. That combination,
yeah,
so cool.
it was
Oh,
amazing. It
yeah.
was creepy. It
Yeah.
was
Such a
a
great
great
combo.
idea. Yes,
Yeah.
a great idea. And I drawn maybe more or less all the characters. I missed to draw Bebop and Rocksteady. I never drew them, so I drawn them in the Street Fighter Turtles covers to recover my my
You?
time. Yes, yes.
I gotta look. I gotta
Uh,
check them out. That's great.
Rocksteady is in issue one, I guess, and Bebop is in the last one, or mm, yes, or
Oh
Rocksteady
yeah,
is in
yeah,
the
yeah. I see them. I'm
yes,
sorry. I'm on your Instagram while we're doing this. Oh, that's
yes.
awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I gotta see more of your
So,
take on it. These are great.
thank you.
You could use whatever turtle
Um,
character. So they let you use whatever turtle characters you wanted to, but Street Fighter you had to be a little bit more stick to what they wanted.
no, because I choose the characters by I was free on the
Oh,
choose.
cool. Very cool.
Uh, yes, especially on the Turtles characters.
Right.
But Capcom asked me just to use the Street Fighter 4 design.
I see. The characters you approved it had to be
They
this design. I see. Makes sense.
yes,
Got it.
yes. They didn't told me use these characters, but they told me if you choose this character, you need to use the Street Fighter 4 design.
Interesting.
Uh, Indeed, some characters are different between Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 2, for example.
Sure.
Ryu's gauntlet are different, are red with a white strip in the middle, or I don't know. They asked a lot of corrections of Kemi in cover issue one covers. Kemi has her classic suit, the green body
Okay.
with the red hat. At the beginning, I drawed Kemi from Street Fighter Alpha.
Okay.
So with her blue suit and blue hat, and they asked me, "No, you need to change her." But the inks were in traditional, so it was an enormous job,
Oh, right.
complicated. Yes,
Oh,
something crazy. So I asked them to send me the character sheet
okay.
from 604. And in this way, I was sure to use the right the right design.
Very cool. I'm looking for the through the covers of the connected covers. I'm looking for Bebop. Is he on the first one?
Sorry?
Is Bebop on the first one of these covers? I'm loving these
Uh,
covers.
yes, Bebop is on the first one
Oh, very cool.
uh, in the corner, the higher corner, just behind Guile. You have Guile, and
Yeah,
behind it, you have Bebop.
got it. Okay. I
No,
love these covers, man.
or Rocksteady.
Rocksteady's in the
The
on the
Rhino.
first one. Yeah.
Okay, Rocksteady is okay. Rocksteady is on the first one, and Bebop is on the last one.
Ah, okay. Because I was looking at the first. I was like, I those are my favorite characters. So I was like looking intensely
Yes.
for them.
Okay.
I love these covers. The Street Fighter covers are so good, and it's clear your passion for these characters is so clear. Oh, there he is. I
Thank
see him.
you.
Like disconnect. It's your passion for these characters is so clear in these connected covers. It's great. So
Thank you. Thank you so much. I
yeah,
put all my passion in this cover.
yeah. I've seen Bebop getting elbowed by. Oh Christ.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know the Street Fighter characters super well. Like I played Street Fighter 2 when I was a kid, but I didn't know all these characters going into
Okay.
it. And but it was a good series. I just it wasn't I kind of had to like jog my brain because I knew some, but I played Street Fighter 2, but I don't think I played anything since. So
Okay. No,
Was
I'm
Street Fighter big big in Italy?
yes, in the 90s, it was like the Turtles.
Got it.
Um, back in the 90s, here in Italy, we had a lot of cabinets in the bar, the arcade game.
Sure.
I don't know if you, yes, we had a lot of them, and now they are disappeared. But in the 90s, every bar, every pub had one or more cabinets, and Street Fighter was always here.
Weren't you a kid in the 90s?
Yes, in
Why were
90s,
you why were you in all these pubs?
sorry.
Why were you in all these pubs? If you were
Ah, yes, because here in Italy everything is different.
okay, yeah, no, in America, that's
Now, here the idea of pub is a bit different.
okay,
Not necessarily you go to the pub to drink a beer or to drink something. Here you can go to the pub just to eat, for
okay,
example.
sure,
So when I was a kid, my parents bring me to the pub to eat an hamburger, to eat French fries. So I entered the pub, but I was the most interested in the video games than
sure.
in the hamburger. And my father told me, "I bring you here to eat, not to play." But I wanted just to play.
You know, man, my last question for you is this. I
Yes,
usually my last thing I ask everybody is who your favorite turtle is. I know it's Donatello, so why is it Donatello?
because he's the smartest one. And when I was a kid, in my crew of friends, I was. They told me that I was the smartest one. Not really the smartest one, but they told me that I was the smartest one, and and so I was fascinated by this character that create weapons, that create robots. In the TV show, he created the turtle van.
Yeah.
He created the walkie-talkie, and it was amazing for me. I loved the walkie-talkie because they were like a shell, like a little shell,
Yeah, little
if you
turtle
remember.
downs. I love those
And
things. Yeah. Yeah.
I loved them too much. I wanted something like this. I like the Donatello because he's the genius of the team, and because I love his weapon, the bow staff. I love that kind of weapon because it's different from the blades, from the sai. It's something that you need to use in a different way. Indeed, drawing Donatello fighting with the bow is very difficult because you need to study the Japanese martial art that use the bow because the movement are very specific, very complicated. When I draw Donatello in action, I try to be realistic in the movement because otherwise you need to draw a guy with a baseball bat and not a martial artist with the
Sure.
bow stuff.
Makes sense. It's not just a stick.
Yes, yes, exactly. And these are the reasons. Then, growing up and reading the IDW comics, they made Donatello very interesting.
Yeah.
His interior fight between his nerdy aspect and his a hero approach. The fighting between him and Metalhead is very
So good.
cool.
So good.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
very cool. He was fascinating by Barrows, that was a mad scientist. It was fascinating, but he hate him because his madness. So I feel that the character is more interesting now than in the past. In
Interesting.
the series that I'm drawing, he is the main character, and he feel a big um, contrast between his feelings and his desire to be a good scientist, to be maybe a wizard. And the series is exploring this aspect of Donatello, and it's very interesting because he's a very conflictual character now.
Mm. Yeah, they've done I mean, both Tom and Sophie have done amazing things with that character. Really, truly
Yes,
extraordinary. Yeah.
yes,
No, this
exactly.
was such a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it. This is great.
Thank you so much. It was amazing. It was amazing. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Take care. It's such a huge pleasure, and I cannot wait for the next few issues. So I'm very excited to see more of your work.
Thank you. Me too. See you
Take
next
care.
time in New York.
Quanto tardarughe sempre